Happy Friday, everybody. I am here to talk to you about food, talking about what you can eat to feel better, what to eat when you need to feel better, when you don't feel as well, how some different food things, some food choices that you make can help you to feel better. So I didn't tell anybody I was hopping on live, so we'll see if anybody is around today. So we've been talking about the 5 wisdom bodies, or I've been talking about the 5 wisdom bodies, and talking about how the 5 wisdom bodies are important for your health and how it can help you feel better. So one of them is the physical wisdom body, and that's, what we eat, the way we move our bodies, the sleep that we get, and that part is how kind of the food relates, except it also influences your emotional body, your mental wisdom body, your energetic wisdom body, and also your spiritual wisdom body. So, hey Jenny, I'm glad you're here. So what people are asking me, well, so what should I eat? And I have a client who's saying, like, I just don't even know what to eat. So I thought I would come on. That's what somebody asked a question about, was what do I eat if I want to feel better? So for me, the biggest key is focusing on an anti-inflammatory diet. That's the biggest key to feeling better for a lot of people, is taking out foods that are inflammatory and adding in foods that are anti-inflammatory. So I think we've talked about this briefly before, but there's a nice kind of a way, if you're going to think about, like, how can I keep track of that? Really, you can eat any fruit and vegetable that you want. All of those are good. So eating fruits and vegetables are all very good things. And the framework is that you want to make sure that you have a veggie at every meal, a protein at every meal that is not an inflammatory protein, a healthy fat, and an unprocessed carb. So that's kind of the, if you were trying to look at the framework, that's what I would recommend for, like, well, what should I eat? Well, what can fit into this framework? So for instance, for lunch, I had cauliflower lentil soup, and it had red lentils, and it had cauliflower, and it had sweet potatoes in it. So the sweet potato counted as the healthy, the whole unprocessed carb. The lentils counted as the protein, and the cauliflower was the vegetable, and there was coconut oil in making the soup. I also had a green salad on the side because I want to make sure that I get as many vegetables as I can. And for most people, that even eating a fruit can count as a carbohydrate as well. So having a banana or strawberries, those are really great ways of, hi Linda, I'm glad you're joining me. So those are really great ways to make sure that you are including a nice balanced diet. And they're usually the anti-inflammatory foods mean that you're not eating foods that are, there's not a lot of sugar in them. Sugar is very inflammatory. Animal products tend to be very inflammatory. Dairy, meat, those are inflammatory products. Any fried food is going to be inflammatory. Gluten can be inflammatory for some people. So another example of an unprocessed carb would be rice, or white potatoes, sweet potatoes, having a fruit with a meal too. So you could have a salad with strawberries and walnuts and carrots and cucumbers, and so you could have veggies, and your carb could be the strawberries, your protein would be the walnuts. You would be getting a healthy fat with the walnuts, or if you used olive oil and vinegar as a dressing, that would be a healthy fat as well. So that's kind of the framework of what do I eat to feel better. It's anything that is cutting out inflammatory foods, adding in anti-inflammatory foods, which are the things that are high in antioxidants, like wild berries, raspberries, blueberries, strawberries. Those are high in antioxidants. Green leafy greens are high in antioxidants, are going to be anti-inflammatory, very good for you, and helping keep inflammation down. And again, we've talked about this last week, but if you have inflammation that's going on, you might feel things like aches and pains. You could also feel bloated, you could have brain fog. All of those are kind of signs and symptoms of inflammation. So if you do want to eat animal products, the best animal product would be like a fish. So, you know, I am plant-based. I don't eat animal products. But I know that some people, that's an important thing for them. So I would encourage you to have the most clean version of fish that you could have, or protein. Protein could also be something like beans. Beans are a great protein. They're full of fiber, full of protein. They're wonderful. Lentils are great. They're also anti-inflammatory. Lentils are, and they're very versatile. Nuts and seeds are great proteins, and they have healthy fats. Other healthy fats would be avocados, coconut oil, olive oil. Those are all great. The nuts and seeds, so like almond butter, walnut butter, cashew butter, those are all really great. So sometimes I'll have a rice cake with hummus and spinach and tomato on it. And then, you know, as a quick snack, I'm having a nice, you know, I'm still meeting that I have a carb, I have a protein, I have a healthy fat, and I have veggies. So I always look for that as a balance. So I would love it if you are willing to try something. You can go all out and say, I'm going to change my whole diet and try these anti-inflammatory foods that may assist my body in healing. Or you can go a different route, which is like, okay, I'm just going to try to cut out one inflammatory food. Like maybe you cut out sugar, which is huge because there's so much of it in our culture. To cut out sugar can be really challenging. So you could go that particular way, or you could go the route of doing something called an elimination diet, where you cut out all of the possible foods that are either potential allergens or could be, what's the word I'm looking for? You may not be allergic to it, but you might be intolerant of it. So some people are intolerant of gluten, but they're not allergic to it. So that's kind of where I fall, is I could eat gluten, but I don't feel as good when I eat gluten, so I'm not allergic to it, but I know that my system doesn't react as well to it. So for me, I'm always like, how can I feel better? How can I feel even better each day? And so I'm always willing to try those things. So, so you can try that, like, okay, I'm going to try this carb, a healthy carb, an unprocessed carb, an anti-inflammatory protein, a healthy fat, and a veggie at every meal. That's one way, as I said. You can cut out something that's inflammatory, like sugar, or you could cut out gluten, or you could cut out dairy. Those are big, you know, offenders often. Or you could try an elimination diet, which is kind of like the whole deal. And that's what, when we were suspecting that our children had food allergens, that's what we did. The whole family went on an elimination diet, just basically cutting all the food out that could be a potential allergen and adding in one thing at a time to see which one might be a trigger. But maybe I'll do a whole nother live on elimination diet. We'll talk about how to do that. So I hope this is helpful. I'd love to hear what questions you might have about how to feel better eating for feeling better, or inflammatory foods or anti-inflammatory foods. There are lots of possibilities and options out there, and you can put them in the comments below. And this is also something that I'll be talking some about in my new upcoming class, the Whole Body Upgrade, that starts October 31st. Or you can schedule a free call with me. I have 30-minute free mini sessions for anyone who would like to talk about any of the health issues they're having, or if they're wanting to change their diet. So I'll put both of those links in the comments below, and I will see you soon. I hope you all have a great weekend. Talk to you later. Bye.